Hello, it's lunchtime. So I drove over here to Wendy's to get a couple of those non keto friendly burger patties that some people like to call it. Now, this video touches on a subject that some people probably don't want to even be part of. And I notice when I talk about confrontational stuff like this, I typically lose a few subscribers because they don't want to hear about this kind of stuff. On my Facebook, there was a specific person that posted something about what is and what isn't keto and what should be followed and shouldn't be followed. And I typically think of myself when these types of things happen because I used to do that. I used to be the person that said, this person is wrong and this person's right. And now I'm like, you know what? So many people follow so many different variations and versions of keto that it would be simply silly for me to think that anybody is doing anything wrong or right. It's up to them to do what they want to do and follow who they want to follow. But there are some people I do have to agree that just are completely reckless and loose with what they teach people and tell people. One of the things that was mentioned is the reason for my video this morning about adding headings to your videos and stuff that are displayed on Facebook and just giving a precursor to what your video is about to basically prepare people for what you're talking about and set them up for better success because a lot of times they won't watch the videos and they won't read what you have to say. They will just see you with a product and they'll just go ahead and start using it instead of actually watching the video and realize that you've said something that would probably help them decide not to be using specific products. There's certain people in the community that like to think their way is the absolute 100% best in doing anything. And I used to be one of those people. I used to be one of those people that preached that the best way to do it and the most dogmatic way to do it was the way that I was preaching and saying to do it. But over the last couple of years, I've realized that's absolutely silly. It's absolutely absurd. One of the people recently created a video talking about how my way is the best way and how you should be following me because my success obviously shows that I know what I'm talking about, and the next person's success, um, they could have helped thousands of people get on track, but because my camp obviously shows my success on my body, that means that my way is the 100% complete right way to do it. How silly does that sound? How silly does that sound? How many, a lot of people don't like Jimmy Moore, but Jimmy has had tons of experience over the last 15, 16 years writing books, coaching people, doing seminars, traveling the world, helping thousands and thousands and tens and tens and tens of thousands of people heal and get healthy. There are a lot of people in this camp that do not like him, but those are those same people that look at an image and say, well, because your image looks like that, you obviously don't know what you're talking about. Yet, the thousands and thousands of books that they've sold that have helped people get on track, helped people heal, helped people reverse insulin resistance and type 2 diabetes and all these other types of conditions, thyroid conditions, metabolic syndrome, leaky gut, whatever it may be, they don't get credit for that because their image of what they look like obviously doesn't show. That's what this person was basically saying. If you are not an image of what you are preaching, you obviously do not know what you're talking about. And if you do not do things this way, you obviously do not know what you're talking about. And I'm watching this video and I'm absolutely shaking my head in disgust on what I'm seeing. And it was absolutely absurd. This particular person um, has caused issues with other YouTubers in the past as well. And I'm not name dropping people right now because I'm not going to let that bitterness spread. Because if you know anything about bitterness, bitterness can grow from anything. You could take a weed and plant it in an area that it doesn't even belong growing, that's not nurturing to that weed at all. And that weed will find a way to grow and spread and spread and spread. And bitterness is the same way. When you become bitter and you don't even have to fertilize bitterness. And you can continue to um, just say something bitter one time, and people will spread that bitterness for you, or that bitterness will continue to grow on its own. There are people out there that think their way is the ultimate way to do it, and they cut down other people in the process because they don't do it like them. Now, there are a few of us YouTubers that I do follow that I am friends with. I've been friends with for years now that I absolutely 100% support. And they don't do keto the way I do. They don't teach the way I do. But I support them because they're making people's lives better. They're absolutely complimenting people's lives in a positive way. I don't even believe in everything that they say, but because of what they're doing and the mission that they're on and how they succeed with helping people and coach people, I'm absolutely honored to be friends with those people, even though I don't agree with most of the things that they say. But because they're making a positive impact and they're doing something that's bettering people's life, I'm okay with that. I don't have to be involved with correcting everything that they do. I don't have to have say so over everything that they do. I don't have to put out videos and stuff that make them look wrong and stuff because I don't agree with what they do. Because I know other people get results by following what they do. None of us have the answer. Because let's just put it this way. In this video, such and such person said, obviously you're not getting results following the people that you're following if you've stalled more than just a small amount of time. Obviously, if you've stalled in your weight loss journey at all, you're not doing it right. Well, if that's the case, why are so many of the professionals that are supposed to know so much more than us, especially this person that said this, they blatantly say you can be stalled for months on end and have no path in the right direction at all with weight loss. In this video, it specifically states that if you've had any kind of extensive stalling, you're not doing something correctly. That is not true. Any kind of person that tells you if you've stalled for a lengthy amount of time, weeks on end, or a month or 2 months on end, you're not doing something right, that person is to be immediately discredited in what they say. If you're having stress with your loved ones, your kids, if your stress hormones are if your cortisol levels are out of whack, if you're changing up your workout routines, if you've changed the different types of foods that you eat, trying to get into maybe a different type of keto or something like that, maybe you haven't been paying attention to the ingredients and stuff that you've ate. These are all types of things that can put stress on the body and cause the body to not continue to lose weight. You could be pregnant and not even know it. You could be sick or coming down with a thyroid condition or something like that. A medical condition can be actually festering and you not even know it. But this particular person says if you're stalling for any amount of time, you're not doing something correctly. That's rubbish. You cannot tell people that. There are many reasons why somebody would first stall for 2, 3, 4, 5 months at a time. I went through a 5-month stall before I lost 10 pounds. My admin on my group back when I first started, Keto Nation Official or Carnivore Keto Nation Official, it took her 4 or 5 months to even begin to lose weight because there was so much going on inside her body that she had to heal. But this particular person is so bitter against other people in the carnivore keto community and other YouTubers, they are blatantly saying, if you do not follow it, doing it my way or such and such person's way, you are not doing it correctly. And they're festering this. Their subscribers, I could see, are almost they're so bitter. They don't even have to fertilize the bitterness that they have. Their subscribers eat that stuff up, and the subscribers are fertilizing it and spreading that for them. They love that stuff. They just eat it up. And it's sad. It's sad that we have to go through all this over again because I remember the same person a year or two ago had the same issues with other YouTubers and started this whole big drama scene and got all out of whack and stuff like that. And then it kind of died down for a while, but now here we are all over again. It seems like this bell curve, this going up and coming down, this going up and coming down. And it's really ridiculous that we get to that point. And I'm to the point now where I just don't even like supporting people anymore. I don't even like supporting people that I like anymore, just for the simple fact that it's so easy to get caught up in the bitterness of the different camps and the following of different camps, the dogmatic cult. If you're not doing it this way, you're wrong. But the very specific person that talked about things that people were eating that were causing the stalls, it's not the right version of keto and stuff like that, is the same person that does reviews on the same products they were telling people not to eat. Does that make any sense to you? Makes no sense to me. I don't know. When you get that bitter in your life and you think that you have all the answers to everything in your life, you've got some problems. You gotta search deep down in your soul to figure out what's exactly wrong with you. Maybe you're spending too much time on social media when you have to nonchalant bash other people when they blatantly know you're talking about them. I was just having a conversation with a couple people earlier about this person, and they were like, we've had problems with this person over a year ago, 2 years ago, and I don't know why all of a sudden it's got to pop back up again. It's like misery loves company. That bitterness starts to begin to fester all over again. And it doesn't need the subscribers of the channels are what a lot of times help grow that bitterness. And it's to the point now where I tell people all the time, if you like a lot of fat, eat a lot of fat if you're getting results. If you don't like a lot of fat, this whole notion, and I had a girl pop up on my group not too long ago. A friend of mine actually pulled her onto the group and said, Rich, this girl needs to talk to you. She does this whole thing where she drops her fat so low, she follows all these people, and it says you gotta do that because you have body fat. To an extent, that's true. To an extent, if you've got fat on your body, you don't need to eat so much dietary fat. But that can actually harm you as well. The fat, the cholesterol and stuff that you eat, it helps with your hormones. It helps with satiety regulation. There's a number of things it helps with. So there's a fine line between realizing you're eating too much fat and not eating enough fat. And this particular person thinks that you should, if you're not losing weight, you need to reduce your fat even more. But this particular person's also eating a very, 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 very high calorie restriction diet. This person's eating such little amount of food that they're putting their stuff into a deep starvation type ketosis. But they want other people to do the same thing that they're doing, thinking that they're doing them justice by doing what they're doing. It's silly. There's a lot of people that learn the hard way that when people start telling you who you should and shouldn't follow and that you're doing something wrong based on their results and how they've gained and succeeded in life, those are the type of people I would not suggest following. Now, I have an issue with somebody saying because I'm a millionaire, you should be a millionaire. There's a number of issues here. Yeah, you can lose weight on a calorie restriction diet, but your metabolism goes to crap. And I've seen people do this. They lose a ton of weight on a calorie restriction diet. And then when they go to actually eat a healthy meal with their family or something like that, or a holiday, they look like a freaking balloon after that. Their skin gets all puffy. They get all bloated and stuff. Their metabolism doesn't know what to do with any of that stuff. It's because it's destructive. Now, I didn't want to even have to make this video, but the more I thought about it, the more I looked into it today, the more I wanted to say, I just wanted to inform you guys here. When you follow people that specifically state, if you're not doing things my way and you're not getting results and all this other, you're following the wrong people. There's nobody in this community at all. There's not a damn doctor. There's not a freaking nutritionist. There's not a YouTuber. Nobody has the damn answers to the questions that are going on 100% of the time and can tell you exactly what you need to know. And if you follow one damn YouTuber out there that says, I'm going to fix every one of your problems, or you should be doing it like me, they're full of shit. That's that. When it comes down to it at the end of the day, if you're not doing what you need to do your research and try different things out that work for you for extensive periods of time, instead of relying on somebody else, that's your own problem. Second of all, when you follow people that tell you you're following the wrong people, best to listen to a huge amount of voices and come up with your best. Exactly. Listen to what everybody has to say and put your own game plan together. But when you listen to people that say, oh, such and such, yeah, they've lost a lot of weight, but look at it, the last 6 months, they haven't lost anything. So you shouldn't listen to them because they're obviously on a long stall and they don't know what they're doing. Oh my God. A person that says something like that is completely ridiculous. I mean, I don't get this. I don't know how somebody could look at somebody else's life and say, well, you've lost 140 pounds, but because you haven't lost any weight in the last 4 months, you obviously don't know what you're talking about. You don't know what's going on with that person's life. This was actually said. This was a person that said this about another YouTuber, and They have lost a ton of weight, but because they lost a ton of weight and then stalled out for a long period of time, they don't know what they're talking about. You need to follow me and you need to do what I do because you're obviously following the wrong person. How ridiculous does that sound? And that is what was said. There's no way to argue it, there's no interpretation to it. That is what was said. And that's it. That's ridiculous to tell people that stuff. That's ridiculous to be a YouTuber and people follow you and look up to you and you're supposed to be thought of as some kind of coach, but yet you've had no damn nutritional experience at all other than your keto diet. I've been doing this for years. I've been doing this since I'm 17 years old. I'm going to be 34 this week. I'd be damned if I let another YouTuber that's only been doing keto for 3 or 4 years tell me I don't know what I'm talking about. This is not the only thing that I do. I coach people in powerlifting, weightlifting. I get into dietary stuff. I'm on multiple different groups that help admin and stuff make decisions and stuff on maybe we should switch things up. I do a lot of stuff, but I don't claim to know it all. There's a lot I still have to learn, and there's a lot I still do learn. People teach me, not medical studies and stuff like that, dealing with people on a more individual basis to see what does and doesn't work with people. But I'm still 60, probably 50 to 60 pounds overweight. I say 40 pounds overweight, but if I really wanted to, I could probably lose another 60 pounds. I'm okay right now. I'm kind of doing my own thing, my own way, and when it happens, it happens. But that doesn't mean when somebody doesn't physically represent the words that they're saying, this doesn't even make any sense. Would you go to your cardiologist and say, your cardiologist says, well, you know, we found a blockage in this portion of your heart, in this portion of your heart, and I've got to go in there and I've got to do surgery and stuff, and this is what I need you to do over the next 6 months this is how we need to clean up your diet and stuff like that. You look at him and say, hey, fat ass, you're 300 pounds. I'm not going to listen to you. No, you do what the doctor says. Doesn't mean he doesn't know what he's talking about. He's just not making very appropriate choices in his life, but doesn't mean he doesn't know what he says. I mean, it's ridiculous. Would you ever... Jimmy Moore goes to a seminar and he teaches people about keto and stuff like that, and he does a great job doing it. I mean, he explains it. He's hooked up with some of the top doctors around, and he explains it to people. Yes, he knows how to explain it. Yes, he knows how to teach it. What he's doing in his own personal life is irrelevant, but he knows how to do it. I mean, I don't know how many times I've heard people bash other people because their physical image doesn't match what they're saying in their videos. It's completely ridiculous. There's a lot of people I know in the keto community that are not very healthy, but they do a great job coaching and teaching people. But because you're not part of somebody else's camp, that means you're not doing it correctly. So what I'm getting at here is when you start following people that tell you you're following people because you're following people, and those people don't physically represent the image that they're putting out, you shouldn't follow them. Or if your results aren't happening fast enough, go ahead and cut back as much fat as you possibly can and just eat really lean. You can do lean keto. That probably gave away who the person was immediately. You're doing it wrong. You should do it like them. They're full of crap. Completely full of crap. They don't... And the person needs to wake up and smell the coffee. And that's where we're at with this conversation is... If you follow people that tell you that that's the kind of stuff you should be doing, and that's the only way, and if you've been through a stall for a long period of time, you don't know what you're doing, they're full of shit. That's exactly what it is. So don't be a part of anybody's camp. Don't 100% be somebody's freaking groupie to where you support them 1,000% and everything else somebody else says is wrong. Take bits and pieces of information from everybody and draw up your own plan, your own conclusion, and do what you have to do to make yourself succeed. And if you need help, ask questions. If you need help from people, they probably know how to point you in the right direction. Maybe they just don't know how to explain it correctly. Not everybody has the answers for this, and not everybody's going to be able to fix your problems in your health journey. You're going to have to do that yourself. That's exactly what it is. That's it. If somebody says they have all the answers, leave. Fast. In a hurry. Thanks, guys. Sorry for this little rant. But if you're part of my camp, I support you following all the YouTubers, trying all the different types of keto. Some are better than others, but I wish you the best, and I hope you find what version works best for you. Thank you, and be blessed. Have a great day.